You're listening to Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana Shalom, educator, multidimensional weaver, and your real-time nervous system master regulator. This is not a podcast. This is an attunement lab and the audible expression of a living transmission called Weaving Legacy. Here, we move through a living sequence, a truth that shakes something loose. Then, the pause. Feel our bodies, the bracing, the breath, the return. We don't regulate perfectly, we regulate together. And once we're back with ourselves, we name the systems that taught us to disconnect in the first place. Because programs don't change people. Regulated people change people. This is where we shift from the survival spiral to the re-inhabiting spiral, where we learn to come home to ourselves in real time, where the sanctuary garden door opens from the inside. If your nervous system has been waiting for a place to relax into truth at a pace that it actually needs, then welcome home. This is the voice of a living lineage. Let the transmission call us back into our bodies. Let the weaving root into our daily lives. There's something strange happening in the nervous system world right now. Many people understand themselves more than ever, and yet we still feel stuck. Not because we're doing anything wrong, but because most conversations about the nervous system revolve around regulation, and they start in the wrong place. Before we try to regulate the nervous system, we need to understand what it has been doing on our behalf. Because many of the responses we're trying to fix are actually not mistakes. They're what we call survival strategies. Across season 0 of my podcast, Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated, we slowed down and explored something different. We learned not how to control our nervous system, but how to actually listen to it. Season 0 of the podcast is called Orientation Without Self-Blame. Because before we try to change anything, we need to understand the landscape that we've been standing in. And what we discovered is that the nervous system tends to move through a very specific pattern. Not perfectly, not in a straight line, but consistently enough that once we see it, something important begins to shift. Before we continue, let's name something gently. This is an attunement lab, and some of us may find it helpful to have something supportive to go along with us as we listen. So we created the Attunement Companion Guide that corresponds with this arc. It's not homework, it's not a workbook, and it's not a process or anything that expects us to change. It's a quiet relational guide here to walk alongside us as we lean into these episodes. Or we can just set it down entirely. The choice is up to us. This attunement guide has simple language that mirrors what we're learning here. If that feels supportive, the Attunement Companion Guide is linked in the show notes. And if not, you are already welcome here, just as you are. Let's continue weaving together. To the loom we go. Today, I want to show you what that pattern looks like. The first thing we did in season 0 was surprisingly simple. We gave the nervous system a name. We call it Shalom, not as concept, but as a companion, our inner peace by birthright. Because when something has a name, it becomes much easier to relate to. And many people have been taught to think The nervous system is something that we must manage. But the nervous system is not a machine we operate. It's a living system that has been adapting time and time again to the conditions within our lives. When we begin relating to the nervous system, instead of trying to control it and correct it, something important becomes visible. Many of the patterns we struggle with are part of what we call the survival spiral. And the survival spiral forms when the body learns that safety is uncertain. It can show up as constant vigilance, scanning the environment, making sure that we are safe from harm. It can show up as a difficulty with resting and slowing down. It can show up as over-functioning. If I'm doing, I'm worthy. It can even show up as emotional shutdown, suppressing our feelings. Nothing about this needs to be fixed because the nervous system isn't broken. It's doing this because bracing once helped us survive. Those responses were survival strategies. So instead of asking, how do I stop reacting like this? We ask a different question. What conditions taught my nervous system to brace? That shift alone removes an enormous amount of shame. And shame keeps us locked in that survival spiral. This is not because something's wrong with us. This is simply our history. And it's not only personal. Many of us are functioning inside environments that were never designed for our nervous systems, especially for our nervous systems to feel safe. Which means many people aren't struggling because they're broken. It means they may be struggling because they're responding to real conditions of pressure. And once people begin to recognize, oh wait, this is a survival pattern, something interesting often happens. Awareness appears. And almost immediately, pressure follows. The moment we see something clearly, our systems have been taught that means we must respond. I now understand this, so I must do something different. And oftentimes, it comes with a silent thought. Why am I not any better? But awareness does not automatically create capacity. Understanding something does not mean that the nervous system can instantly reorganize around it. So in the second arc of Season 0, we introduced a different idea. Nothing is required. That sentence can feel surprisingly uncomfortable because we are trained that when awareness comes in, it's going to lead to self-improvement. But when awareness becomes pressure, the nervous system braces harder. So instead of accelerating change, we're learning to slow things down. We also explored another misconception, the belief that emotional intensity means something is wrong. In reality, intensity appears when the nervous system starts to become safer. Because sensations that were previously suppressed are now able to rise to the surface. Intensity is not always the problem. Sometimes the problem is how quickly we're trying to interpret the intensity, because this creates a misconception that we're failing. When awareness stops turning into pressure, something else becomes possible. The nervous system begins reclaiming what we call locational authority. And this is a simple concept, yet can have magnificent outcomes. It simply means the body is in a place where experience is interpreted, not external expectations, not constant self-evaluation, just presence. Naming what is here and choosing to stay. Once awareness slows down, that authority returns inward. The nervous system begins to notice something new. Signals. Now, some signals are very familiar. They move quickly. They tighten the body. They push towards resolution. And they're often survival signals. But other signals may appear too. Quieter ones, softer ones, signals that don't rush. We call those coherent signals, meaning our inner world and our outer world experiences are in alignment. Both can exist at the same time. One of the most important realizations of season 0 was this: recognition does not require correction. The nervous system can notice signals without immediately trying to override them. When that happens, something else often begins to move. Grief. Not because something is wrong, but because the body is now safe enough to thaw. The body will not thaw in unsafe rooms. So it waits, sometimes for years. And when the thaw begins, another shift becomes visible. Emotions stop meaning what they used to mean. Anger might mean, hey, I need a boundary here. Sadness might reveal something about our earlier attachment. Fear might be signaling, hey, this really matters to me as a person. When emotions themselves change, it's not that the emotion changed. It's that our relationship to the emotion has changed. And when that relationship shifts, something very important becomes possible. The space between awareness and action. We call this agency. And agency is not urgency. That's what we're coming from. Urgency creates pressure to move forward quickly. Agency creates room to choose. It's the moment when the nervous system realizes, wait a minute, I can notice this without immediately doing something with it. Season 0 is about refusing to force ourselves to change, and instead radically owning orientation. Where am I right now? Across the season, we moved through recognition, thawing, reinterpretation, and choice. Not perfectly, not quickly, but steadily. And when urgency loosened, something else became possible: space. And this space, this is where the sanctuary begins. And this is the next season of the podcast. Not with strategies, but with a question. What kinds of environments allow the nervous system to remain whole? And we can explore that journey together at the start of season 1 in Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. Here, the sanctuary door opens from the inside, and we begin to learn how to interpret the survival spiral and how to activate the re-inhabiting spiral. And as always, not to require our immediate action, but to orient us to what is alive around us. What have our bodies been responding to? And if you support children, if you are a caregiver, or if you are collaborating with other people, understanding this changes everything. You just moved through Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated, the Nervous System Attunement Lab, where regulation happens in real time, where we take a breath, we feel our bodies, not perfectly, but honestly. We notice what shifted, what softened, what resisted, what came online even for a moment. If something stirred awake today, that isn't a sign that you're done. That's a sign that you're practicing the slow, steady work of returning to yourself. This work moves in spirals, not straight lines. We don't regulate once, we return again and again. Each time a little deeper, each time with a little bit more permission. And if today pushed you past your edges, that's part of the path. Edges are where remembering begins. This isn't content we're moving through. This is a living frequency, a lineage-held transmission that reshapes us as we walk it. To keep walking the path of somatic knowing, mythic remembering, and lineage weaving, meet us at Journey the Weave on Substack. And for deeper embodiment and spirit-born insight, enter Journey the Spirit Weave, our paid Substack tiered. Remember, our bodies are not the problem. Our nervous systems are not the obstacle. They are portals we are relearning how to trust. And if just one of us practices coming home to ourselves, systems begin to change. We'll see each other at the next episode. Until we weave again.